This SHOT Show coverage is sponsored by Valor Defense Depot, Night Vision Inc., and D&T Optics. Links are in the description.
Hi guys, it's Tony with Asian with Hat here at SHOT Show 2025 with Steven from Primary Arms. Steven, what's the latest and greatest today?
We've got a lot of new stuff in our Discovery 25 release. We've been kind of teasing at it and showing a
Yes,
bunch
I know.
of
I've been getting mad about
details. Yeah, we just flood IG, Facebook, everywhere. We put it everywhere we can. Probably the most popular thing at the show so far has been our new HTX. A couple of reasons why. First of all, it is our first in-house enclosed reflex. Secondly, it is made in the United States. It's not assembled in the US. It's not foreign components that we're bringing in and putting together. This is made in the US.
All homemade grown.
It is. Everything in there, the glass, the boards, the materials it's made out of, the machining. The only thing that's not is part of one component. So when you make an emitter or an LED, you actually have to grow the crystal for it. It's not glass or plastic or anything like that. You have to grow crystal. There's 2 places in the world that do it. Neither one of them are in the US.
So we can't get it from Meth Head?
We can't. No, that's the wrong kind of crystal.
Oh, wrong kind of crystal. Okay.
The specs aren't really there.
All right.
These are actually grown in Germany, and then we bring them into the States, and we're doing all the potting and all the soldering here to make them into the board that we need to work with our systems. Setting up the supply chain for this was super difficult, especially the lens. We haven't had the machines or the labor force, the expertise to be able to make the lens that we have in the States for a long time. We shipped that skill set off a long time ago. And bringing it back in, we had to find a couple of glass partners to work with and kind of learn together how to make what we needed. Some of the unique features about it, it comes with the ACSS Vulcan reticle, or you can do it in just a red dot. But that Vulcan is a 240 MOA outer circle designed to fall outside of the field of view as long as you present the gun correctly.
Correct.
If you get a bad grip coming out of the holster, you're shooting with your support hand, you're shooting around a barricade, anywhere where you'd like traditionally lose that dot in the window and you got to sit there and fish for it, you'll be able to see the circle so you know which way to drive it back.
Drive it back, plus typical. If the dot's on it, you're hitting it.
So much faster first round to target, especially in those like kind of non-conventional shooting positions. And the second and probably the biggest unique feature about this, it is not footprint specific. So
nice.
We actually came up with a chassis system so we can adapt our dot to whatever gun they want to mount it onto instead of having to buy a gun that fits the dot that you want.
Yeah, or a slide. I wanted to slide for this gun. I have to have it milled for this.
Yeah, you cut it and then you're pigeonholed into just that, and that's all you can do. With our chassis system, it allows us to mount it lower than any other enclosed that's out there, and we can adapt it to pretty much anything. So it ships with the initial release with 3 different chassis. One's for the MOS, like you can see on this 34. One of them is the RMR-A, which is kind of that standard slap cut RMR, and then RMR-B, which is more that ZEV style with the raised threaded bosses. But we can mount it extremely low using that chassis, so you can actually get a full sight picture, not just the tip of the front sight blade, through the optic with standard height sights.
Well, that is great. What I also like is that the battery cap on the outside? So it's real quick and easy?
You do not have to remove it to change the battery out. It's protected extremely well. This is actually one of the revisions we went through a few times with it. We found with the original models that we made, if you were to drop it and ding that battery cap, it would kind of fuse the cap on there.
Oh, yes.
If you can't change your battery, that's kind of dead in the water as far as the dot goes. So that was one of the things that we re-engineered a few times to get it right. Now, it doesn't matter if you drop it on there and you ding that thing down, it won't interfere with the threads. You'll still be able to swap batteries out and the dot's still good. We've done a lot of testing on this, dude. Drop testing, submersion testing, saltwater testing, heat and cold cycling, all that stuff. And it is an absolute tank of a dot. We're actually blowing chunks out of the concrete in our warehouse before we're breaking the glass in this thing on drop test. So it's really exciting for us, especially being that made in the US. There's a lot of stuff that say, assembled, engineered, and all that in the US.
It says made in the US, it was only assembled here, yes.
Right. We are actually made in the US, so super exciting part.
That is great. What's the price point on this?
The Vulcan variant, the MSRP on it's going to be $749. The dot variant is going to be $699. So again, that's MSRP. Street price is going to be lower, but we're priced right in alignment with all the high tier,
correct,
enclosed reflexes.
Yeah, and again, you pay for what you get. And if you guys don't understand, Primary Arms has stepped up the game so high. You think you get an optic for $300, guarantee you that thing's worth a lot more than that because it's a great quality product.
It is, and we still make that stuff.
Yes,
We're
I know
still
you do.
doing all that entry level stuff and all the that price conscious stuff. We're just adding kind of a new echelon of high-end products,
Correct.
especially this year.
The next tier to the competition shooter stage.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Exactly.
Well, thanks. Steve, what else do we have that we want to show?
We've got some new big glass. This is our new PLX Compact 2.5 to 20. Now in the PLX series, we've had our long range glass before in the 6 to 30. It's a great scope with great glass, but it's a little long in the tooth. We've had it out for a long time. There's new technology out there, and there was definitely room for improvement. So we've got 2 new long range scopes this year. This is actually considered the medium power scope of the two. Even though that 20X on the top end is more than medium, you can do a lot of work with that. And then going all the way down to that 2.5 at the low end, you can actually run this thing really quick up close. Like we've got it mounted on this Q-Fix, an 8.6 with an 8-inch barrel, and this is a hog slaying beast. It's extremely fast, and you can actually reach out quite some distance with it, even in that 8.6 subsonic. It's got a 34 millimeter tube, so there's plenty of room to dial. We're doing it in 2 new reticles. So this one comes in our Deca, which is a kind of a simpler mill style reticle. It's just a vertical and horizontal stadia with no grid. And we're also doing it in the new Athena BPR G2, which is, if anybody knows our Athena reticles, it's a mill grid system, kind of Christmas tree style. But we changed a couple of things to optimize it for this system. So we moved the ranging ladder, and then we also use a dot for the center aiming point now instead of the chevron from before.
With the Christmas tree.
With a Christmas tree.
Okay.
It's a great reticle. It's probably one of my favorites. And that 34 mil tube gives us plenty of room to travel in the new cartridge turrets. So the way they're going to come shipped from us is with what we call our easy stop turrets. So it's got a standard mechanical zero stop in there. If you want to change that and you want to do a locking turret or a push-pull turret, all you're going to do is loosen the 3 set screws on the outside, pull the turret cap off, throw a new turret on with whatever features you need for that specific use application, and you're good to go. So it's user configurable from the start with accessories. And like you can see, we've got our external dialing turret set up on this one, and we've got the capped variant. So this one here is actually the big brother. This is the 4.5 to 36. So it is a true 4.5 to 36. There's a huge throw on it, but it also has our cartridge turret system. So if I pull the cap turret off of here, you can kind of see how the guts of this thing work a little bit. You'll be able to slide on whatever locking turret, whatever stopping turret you want without having to change the zero of the scope itself. So you can change it for the dudes that are shooting PRS or NRL hunter match, or you're just going out to the range, or you're going to go shoot mammoth, or whatever it is. You can set that scope up for that specific scenario.
I like how you just said go shoot mammoth.
Yes. I know there's some people out there getting
yes.
ready to go do that.
I know someone else that's talking about doing it with us.
Yes. Just might. You'll probably see this glass out there.
Well, that'll be great.
Yep. 2 new reticles in this one as well. So we've got our Neptune reticle, which is a very fine, very precise mill grid, similar to the Athena, but with a little bit more information in there. We've got hash marks every 10th mil instead of every 2/10. And then we've also got the Deca G2 that I talked about before, that simpler kind of vertical horizontal stadia crossing.
Sure.
But yeah, that's the 2 new big boys. We've been testing these things forever, and they are...
I bet you just hate having to go out and test that, don't you?
It's terrible. Actually, most of these are actually my guns that we've been doing a lot.
I know, it's kind of, they look kind of familiar.
Yeah, there's anybody who watches any of our long range stuff knows a lot of the ones that I run for those. So there's been a little bit of confusion about the 2 to 12. We've had a lot of people who've seen this thing so far on social saying, why did you replace the GLX 2.5 to 10 with an SLX 2 to 12? We never said we were replacing it. Nobody from PA has ever said we're replacing it. This is a new scope that we're releasing, but it is not a replacement of that GLX. We've got some other plans for that coming up in the future. But this being kind of that first step in the 2 to 12 arena in the SLX line, we're releasing it with 1 reticle to start off. We'll have more to follow, but the reticle we wanted to put into this is more tuned for that kind of SPR type build or that recce gun type build.
Right.
We're putting the ACSS Nova fiber wire in it.
Ooh.
So it's a second focal plane at 2x, turn the illumination on, shoot it like a dot. It's extremely fast with a very forgiving eye box. If you need to do work at longer range with it, crank it up to 12. You have a mill system in there. You can still shoot at distance. You have your side parallax adjustment, illumination, everything that you're looking for in that SPR or recce style scope.
That is so nice.
And
the
in
price
the
point on
SLX
this one?
series, we're looking sub $500.
Yeah. See, right there, just answered it for me. Yeah.
Yep.
So definitely Not too expensive. Like you said, if you're getting into it before you get to the better glass, start with this and work your way up.
Yeah, you're putting that build together. You want to keep it lightweight, but you want that. Everybody's looking for the unicorn optic.
Yes.
Like I want something that's fast and close. I want something I can shoot a mile.
Correct.
If there was one piece of glass that was perfect for every situation, none of us would be here.
Right.
That's the only thing.
It's kind of like we talked about before. When you outshoot this, then you know it's time to step up to the next one.
Exactly.
And at that time, you save the money up and you're ready.
Exactly.
Who wants let's say, a $500 gun on an $8,000 gun? You step up and get the right glass for the right gun.
Yep. Yeah. Build it for what you need it to do
at that time, and then go up from there.
Can't drive a screw with a hammer.
No, you can't. Steven, what do we have here now?
So we came out with the first PLX Compact 1-8 about 3 years ago. It's a first focal plane with a standard etch and fill reticle. Everybody loved the scope, but they wanted it to be brighter. So last year we came out with a Nova, which is a fiber wire. It's extremely bright, but you can't do fiber wire in first focal plane. You have to do it in the second focal plane. So everybody loved that, and they loved how bright it was, but they wanted first focal plane and all the floating features of an etched reticle bed. So we went back to the drawing board, explored some new illumination technologies, and we came up with a PLX RDB. So RDB stands for red dot bright. We're using a diffractive illumination technology in here, so we can actually burn this thing brighter than we can the Novas.
Oh, wow.
At 1x with the illumination turned all the way up, it is obnoxiously bright. There is not a scenario you will find yourself in where it is not bright enough. And it works extremely well. It's got the same battery efficiency as its older brothers do. And it's still that same super small form factor. We're right at 9 inches long. We're right at a pound. And it is super light. Doesn't add anything to the gun, but the capabilities that you're getting with a new first focal plane. You have all those drops and win holds that everybody loves. We do it in 2 reticles, the Griffin, which is a mill-based grid, and we also do it in the ACSS Raptor, which is a 5.56 308 based PDC. You're going to look at a little bit more as far as cost on this. It's about another $200, and that's because that's what that reticle costs.
Again, like we talked about, it's that step up. You're ready from down here, from the S, let's go to the P and work your way up.
Yep, exactly. So where its older brothers are right at that $1,500 price point, this one's going to be right around the $1,700 price point with both of those reticles available. We also do them in FDE. So for everybody out there building peanut butter guns or 50 shades of FDE, you're more than welcome to throw these on those too.
Yeah, and I said I had a chance to shoot that one. I love it. It's awesome. So
yeah. They're great. These are brand new for us. I've been running it for about 6 months. It is super fast. You'll see a lot of videos coming out from us here really soon with some through the optic footage that we've been able to do with it, and it truly looks like you're shooting with a red dot.
Now, did the Australians? Is this the one the Australians went with?
There's
the police department, because I know they were talking with. I forgot who it was over there with about the.
Yeah, that was the older variant. So they actually went with the original one with the etch and fills. But we've had the PLX Compacts picked up by a number of federal LE agencies, a number of different governments from really all around the world. It's been really popular, and it's been proven in very hard use cases.
Right. I just remember the Australians because when which you helped sponsor them when they came over.
Yep.
And he taught a class with the older one, how they just basically shot it from like literally 5 feet away to 200 yards. It's just like, how do you do it? And it was absolutely great. Optic worked awesome. Battery life, we're
looking at the same battery life as its older brothers. So you're looking at a high medium setting, which is what most people are going to use it on, right around 1,000 to 1,500 hours. But it does have auto light baked into it as well. So once the gun sits still for 3 minutes, it goes to sleep. As soon as you pick it back up, it turns itself back on. So like my bedside gun is a 10.3 inch Mark 18 with one of these on it. I never turn it off. It's always on and ready to go. And if I need to grab it, as soon as I touch it, it's on, it's ready to shoot. And once it sits back down and it's home, it goes to sleep, and I don't have to worry about that battery.
So now I got something else to change to now.
Yep, exactly.
Well, that's good. Anything else?
Yeah, we actually have a whole new line, which is our CLX line. We've had the Classic series for a number of years now, but we're actually developing new optics for that kind of entry-level price point segment. And it doesn't make any sense to call it Classic because they're not Classic. It's all brand new. We're doing a 1X and a 3X Prism, which are phenomenal. Both of them are going to retail under $200. That's a little bit simpler reticle, so you're not going to get the ACSS in there. And they have awesome battery life. It's all push-button control, runs off CR2032s, and you get the same long battery life that you do on our SLXs. We're also doing a new dot in that series. It's the RD23. It's actually got a solar fail-safe on it, so as long as there's enough light for that solar cell to generate 3.2 volts that it needs, it'll switch over and run off of that. And then
That
as
is
soon as
nice.
you lose light, it bumps back to the battery seamlessly. You don't even know it's doing it.
Don't even notice, just switch right nothing.
And those are all going to retail under 200 bucks.
So that is great. So again, like we talked about, the different stages all the way up to the big boy.
Yep, entry level, new guys getting into it, or maybe you've got a backup to your backup to your backup that you won't want to throw $1,000 optic on. We've got solutions for those. Or if you are a shooting professional or you're a high-level competitor and you're looking for glass for your next ELR match or PRS, NRL. If you do rimfire, I've been a sucker for like the NRL rimfire and PRS 22 stuff lately. It's so much fun to shoot, and we've got stuff for that too. So.
What I like about it, guys, is I've known Steven for quite a few years. We're friends. Mm-hmm. And he still shoots some of the classic stuff. I mean, it's still on his gun, so it's not like, and he can have anything he wants, and he still uses it because it's good and it works, guys.
Because it works, yeah.
Because it works. If it's not broke, why fix it?
Yeah, exactly.
But again, the only reason he changes up because it's a technology that has to be tested and work, and he still does it. Yeah. That's why.
Hey everybody, Steve with Primary Arms Optics here with Tony from Asian with Hat. Thank you for joining us in the booth at SHOT 2025, looking at all of our new Discovery 25 products. Make sure you go to Asian with Hat, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you see all the cool new stuff from SHOT. We'll see y'all in the next one.
Thanks, Steven.
Anytime.